Yeah.
What are you doing? Scoot over.
I'm doing what the smart person in his relationship do.
Okay, just scoot over. I'm gonna start by saying that we need you guys to communicate with us.
We need comments, questions,
yes,
concerns,
please.
feedback.
This week we're gonna talk about communication, right? Communication is key because, for instance, I'm gonna give you guys a good example. Today is the reason we're gonna talk about communication. So, what happened today?
The Lord blessed me to wake up this morning.
And what else?
And to get out of my bed.
So today, the plan was to go to the movies, right? And we discussed this when we woke up today. We discussed I wanted to go to the movies. And Tyrone wanted to go and get him a phone from T-Mobile, but he did agree to go into the movies, okay? I didn't expect to be in T-Mobile for 2 hours for him to get an Android phone. So that's my issue, okay? We were supposed to go to the movies, but I ended up in T-Mobile store for 2 hours. What was your perspective on the whole situation?
When I woke up this morning, I had in my mind that I was going to look for me a new cell phone because my old one wasn't what I wanted anymore, I should say.
Anywho.
So, I did exactly that. I went to the store to look for me a new cell phone. But they had a sale. It was a good sale, and unfortunately the sale was going to end today. So I decided to go ahead and get me a phone. And in the process of getting the phone, we missed 2, maybe 3 movie show times. It wasn't that I didn't care about the movie. I just feel like we could have, rescheduled and got a later show time. It wasn't a big deal. We ain't had nothing else planned today.
He don't know what I had planned today, okay? And I told him what my plans were. We ended up going to a 5:30 show? Then we didn't end up getting in until about 10 o'clock. So the thing is I could have been upset. I could have been mad about the fact that we were sitting in T-Mobile for 2 hours, which I was. I was upset that we sat in T-Mobile for hours. And I was like, I don't want to go anymore because 2 hours had passed and I was upset about the time and everything. So, Tyrone pulled up to the show anyways. Why did you pull up to the show anyways?
Because you was going to go to that damn movie.
Is that why?
Because if I arranged for us to go to that movie...
But he didn't arrange that. What are you talking about? You didn't arrange that.
She thought she was going to change her mind.
Were you being nice and just pulling up to the show because you were being nice?
See, I was being nice as well as I was being a man. Like, when I plan to do something, that's what I expect to do. So we said we was going to go to the show today. So after we left the T-Mobile store, she had her mind made up that she was angry and she was no longer going to go to the show. But I didn't see it that way.
Whatever, because at first I told him that I didn't want to go anymore. He was going to pull off from the show. And then, what I decided, ladies? I decided that I'm going to go to the show. I'm going to change my attitude about the day. And I'm going to make it a great night. So that's what I decided to do. I said at first, no, I don't want to go to the show because I'm pissed off. I got an attitude. But that's immature. I did want to go to the show. So I decided to say, let's go to the show. I love watching movies. It'll make me feel better. In the middle of the movie, I did feel better. And I turned over and said, I'm so glad that we came to the show. It made me feel so much better.
So we don't get off track. I just think that, of course, in a relationship, it's important to communicate. When you communicate, especially when you communicate during an argument, there's so many different things that you can highlight during the argument.
Right.
First and foremost, I think that if you do have an argument, it's like you got to choose what you're going to argue about.
Exactly.
There's a difference between an argument and debate. But if you're going to argue, I think that when you argue, part of an argument need to have like a resolution. You need to like come to some type of conclusion. Sometimes arguments just end and need the person to get a chance to get their point across. So if you're going to have a disagreement or an argument, I think you need to resolve the issue. I think that when you argue, you also need to learn something. To make sure you look for the appropriate responses during the argument. You need to make sure you try to resolve the issue of what you're arguing about, as well as you need to actually understand what you're arguing about, if it's worth it or not.
if your feelings were hurt in the situation. You don't really nag about it. You kind of just bring it up. You don't argue about it. You communicate about it. So there's a difference in that. Communication can solve problems. If you communicate, you probably will not end up arguing. The thing is that, ladies, a lot of times we let things build up, right? We are not as sensitive as people may think, because a lot of times we accept a lot. So instead of just arguing, we just take it in, we let it go, we're angry about it at the moment, but then we're just like, whatever, forget about it, right? But then you don't really forget about it, because then that week later, when you get angry again, you kind of bringing up multiple arguments at one time. So you need to communicate.
Me personally, you're not going to yell at me. You're not going to curse at me. You're not going to yell at me. Because honestly, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying. It's not that I can't hear what you're saying. I'm not listening. I'm not going to pay any attention. I'm not going to want to respond to somebody who's, I feel, is trying to belittle me or trying to talk to me as if I'm a child. Or, you know, that's how I feel if someone yell at me. So if someone's communicating, well, arguing and yelling at me, I'm not going to respond to them in a positive way. Me personally, I just try to not say anything. I respond. I get defensive when I'm having an argument. But if I feel as if somebody communicating with me, you know, in which they talk to me in an appropriate tone, such as any other conversation, you know, direct eye contact, appropriate tone, appropriate body language, and etc. You know, I feel as if I can communicate with that person. We can kind of come to some type of an agreement or conclusion. But if somebody, you know, raising their voice at you, they're making a scene, they're being aggressive, you know, poor boundaries in which, you know, maybe they want to grab and point and, you know, poke at you, I don't think I can respond in a positive way. Maybe you need to sometimes reflect on your actions during those times.
Yeah, I think a key point is, before an argument, you need to think about yourself first. You need to figure out what position did you hold first, and then you can think about why the other person may have made you upset. If you think about first what you might have done, then you can reflect. That's important too about the whole yelling. I know a lot of times we can raise our voices during arguments, and just know right away, as soon as you start to raise your voice, there is no point being made. There is no way that you can have a conversation or you can communicate if you're yelling. At this point, you got too upset, and you just probably need to take a breather and come back to the situation. Have a calm, collective conversation.
In response to doing these videos, some things we may say, you know, in these videos may seem so basic or so obvious.
Right.
But until you reflect on a lot of encounters you have, a lot of these things that we know what we should be doing, we don't always act out on them. We know that we should treat others the way we want to be treated.
Exactly. But it doesn't always happen.
It doesn't always happen that way. So if you can, first and foremost, you need to understand who you are and how you react in certain different situations.
Yes.
Like, sort of like understanding your breaking point.
True.
For me, like, I know what makes me angry. Sometimes people kind of just get angry and they can't express why they're angry. For me, I know what makes me angry. I know the way I'm going to react when I'm angry, in which I know how to choose the way in which I'm going to respond when I'm angry. So understanding the difference of how you are as a person when you encounter certain situations is important. So
when you're trying to communicate, because it's not about arguments, it's about communication. When you're trying to communicate, you should not be criticizing that person. You should be thinking about your actions first and then their actions, so that you can kind of reflect on what's going on. If you're criticizing the other person, what you're going to do is ended up arguing about what you've criticized that person on.
You need to be reminded of why you're arguing. Are you arguing to come to a conclusion? Are you arguing to get your point across? Are you arguing just for the simple fact that you like arguing? Some people just feel with drama. Some people pick fights, and some people, you know, have a long day at work, so they want to take it out on other people.
And you gotta realize, if you know your significant other, again, I'm speaking from a relationship, not being single. If you know your significant other, you know exactly how they feel. I know for certain, 100%. This morning, this guy woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And instead of having an argument with him the whole day, I just wanted to know, babe, what's wrong, right? I knew that something had to have been up. It's because I know my significant other. I pay attention. Because if you really are just having fun, I know this generation, this is really tough subject, because this generation, people don't want to really be in a relationship. People don't trust. It's so much to talk about when it comes to relationships. This is really why we need you guys to tune in. We need you guys to ask questions, comments, have concerns, because it's so much to talk about when it comes to a relationship, and especially this generation, that we need specific subjects. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll be babbling like
this. Yeah, some subjects we can go a lot more in depth to. You know, we need your feedback. It's just as important as the information that we have and we want to give. You know, we can take in a lot of information as well, which can help us grow. You know, I don't have the answers. She don't have the answers, you know. But we have something which is a mutual understanding that works for the both of us. So with that being said, we like to see different point of views in which, you know, we can agree to disagree, or, you know, we can kind of like find solutions together. Once issues get, you know, addressed, you know, we can, you know, communicate them across a variety of different races, a variety of different genders.
Right.
You know, so
we want to talk about it all, you know. I feel like it's so biased because I feel like I'm only thinking about our relationship right now, and I don't. I want to talk to the people out there that's single and have any concerns or comments or anything. We want to talk to the people in relationships. We want to talk to everybody. So we just want to know standpoints from other people. We want to have people come in and have conversations with us during the show. We want to talk to couples. We want to talk to single people. Let us know that everybody needs somebody. So with that being said,
or something, because you got different religions and stuff. Some people might love like stuffed animals or something. Yeah, it's like that these days.
Yeah, okay. So if that's the case, please tune in, because I want to talk a little bit more about that, because I don't.
There's some people who believe they married to like higher powers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? What's our information?
Our information is, for email, RelationshipGoals est.2015@gmail.com. Okay.
Repeat that one more time.
One more time. RelationshipGoals est.2015@gmail.com. Hit us up, okay? DM us. You can send us pictures. You can do whatever.
You can DM
okay?
me, but you probably can't get to my page. It's blocked, and I'm not.
Well, you can slide in my DM, okay? So.
You can what?
You can slide in my DM. Like, what do you mean? A girl can slide in there. A guy can slide. Anybody has access to a DM.
Don't openly say they can slide.
You're clearly talking about relationships.
So they can address relationships.
Y'all know this is my man. So
don't say you can slide in. Anyway, they don't slide in nothing.
Another argument where you just
it's
be
not
like,
an argument.
Okay, so
you
can't slide in my DM up here.